Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Tiny, do you remember years ago, you and me and Mary, your wife, went to Adams County Winery, and we sat outside, had some delicious wine, and we haven't been back since. Well, I haven't because I moved to Virginia. So,
which is unfortunate.
Unfortunate. But today we are joined by Dan Baumgardner.
You nailed it. Great job.
Baumgardner, who is the general manager of that winery, Adams County Winery. And thank you so much for being here with us today.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you. Yep.
I'm going to grill you with questions.
Please do. I love them.
Here we go.
Okay. So I was telling him a couple minutes ago, I worked at a winery for 10 years, and I was very intrigued by the industry. And so I know primarily in Pennsylvania, wines are sweeter in this area. So I worked in Virginia where we have nice dry wines, and that became my taste. Do you have a selection of dry as well, or is it primarily sweet wines?
So yeah, great question. You hit the nail on the head. It is, we are primarily in a sweet wine area, but we are very lucky. We have some fantastic dry wines, a Chardonnay that's barrel aged, a red blend that's primarily Cabernet Sauvignon that we grow right at our vineyard in Ortana. And we're very lucky to have an amazing winemaker. He's from France. He's been with us since 2018, and he does a phenomenal job. So
Does he use any kind of like European style as he's doing the wines?
I think he works a little of that in there. I know one of the reasons I asked him, I said, what really made you want to come over and work in the United States? And he said the flexibility, the creativity he can have, because where he's from in France and a lot of regions in Europe, you have to make a certain wine a certain way, and you have no flexibility.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. And so, how long have you been with Adams County Winery?
13 years tomorrow, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Congratulations.
So exciting, yeah.
How many acres do you have under vine?
We have about 13 acres right now, and we grow 5 different varieties.
Okay. And how many wines do you have
currently?
currently?
Oh boy, right now we're at about 22, but we average around 18 to 20.
And I bet your most popular is Rebel Red.
You're exactly right. Yep, Rebel Red, and I do have a fun story about that wine, how it came to be, if you'd like. So the current owners of the winery, John and Catherine, purchased the winery in 1998. When they first started out, John was the winemaker, Catherine was handling the rest of the business. And Catherine went to John and said, try to make a wine out of Concord and Niagara, which are traditionally not wine grapes. So he said, are you kidding? We're going to get laughed out of the industry. They're not wine grapes. So he went ahead and listened to his wife and did it anyway. And took it to a festival. It sold out right away. So he said, beginner's luck, let me try again. He made another batch, went back, sold out right away again. So he said he had to do one of the most difficult things, which was go back and tell his wife that she was right and he was wrong, and Rebel Red came to be.
Might be difficult, but it's common.
Yes, yeah.
Now, it's funny that you mentioned Rebel Red. That's the connection that I was going to bring up to you. So I worked at a winery in Virginia for almost 10 years, the oldest operating winery down there. And we also had a wine called Rebel Red.
Oh, wow.
And did you ever have that where people would come up and say, I had a wine in Virginia called Rebel Red?
We have not, but it could have happened. I just may not have heard it.
Well, I can't tell you the amount of people that came in asking for Rebel Red, thinking it was the Adams County Winery's Rebel Red.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
That is amazing. What a tie-in.
And people would think it was the same kind, and we had to explain that's a little sweeter. This is going to be a drier wine. It's not the same wine. But it was just really unbelievable that two places, fairly close, not terribly far, both had a Rebel Red wine.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That's great, and the reach of just how that name spread and how people even knew to ask for it there. That's amazing. Yeah.
How far does your wine distribution go? What's the farthest?
So we mainly distribute in Pennsylvania and Maryland, but we do ship all over the country. Just this past summer, we expanded the number of states that we ship to, so we're up to, I think, 41 states. So we had these two ladies. I was working at our Gettysburg wine shop this summer, and these two ladies came in, and they said they were from Washington State. And I said, what brings you to the area? She said, you. And I said, well, what else? And she said, no, we drove from Washington State
to see Dan
to stock up on wine.
Baumgardner.
Yeah. And I said, that's unbelievable. And I shouldn't have told him this, but 2 days before they made their trek, we started shipping to Washington State. So, but they said they didn't care. They had a great trip. And,
well, they were at that point, they're there.
Yeah, they're there, right? So I was blown away by that. Yep.
That's incredible.
And Adams County Winery, how is that the fourth or fifth oldest winery in Pennsylvania.
We are the 5th oldest operating in Pennsylvania, opened in 1975, so we are celebrating our 50th anniversary next year, which
That's
is great.
great.
I don't know why I had heard, and I'm so glad that's not the case. I don't know why I had heard that Adams County Winery had been sold a few years ago.
No, it's been under the same ownership since 1998.
I'm glad to hear that, because anytime because obviously it was and is locally owned and operated, and there's that connection, and you fear that when someone comes in, a company comes in and buys it up, it's going to change and
Absolutely.
going to go regional, national, or whatever. It takes away that charm, or it can. So I'm very. When you said that the original owners still have it, I was very happy to hear that.
Well, good. I'm happy we could straighten that out too. That's great. Yep.
So walk me through, Dan. I walk into Adams County Winery. Do you offer tastings?
Yeah, so we do flights, which is great. It gives you the flexibility. You get to pick your 4 wines. You get to go out in our beautiful gardens or indoor heated pavilion if it's cold outside and just enjoy that wine. No reservations are necessary. One of my favorite things is, of course, they're not allowed in the tasting room, but people can bring their pets along with them to sit outside, which, I know my wife and I, our pet is our kid, so we want to take them everywhere. So it's nice to offer that.
Your flights, is it like you just pick 4 out of all of them, or is there like a sweet flight, a dry flight?
So we understand that there might be people who come in that are kind of intimidated. I don't know what to pick. So we do have set flights, like a sweet, a dry, and then our specialty wines, which are going to be mostly seasonal, and fruit wines, things like that. But we also allow people to pick from the entire list if they like and do a custom flight. So a few options for them.
Can you order food, or what's the food policy?
So yeah, of course you have wine, you got to have some food, right? So we have our Terrace Bistro, which features a wood-fired pizza oven. It's amazing. You get that nice wood smoke flavor in there. So we are nearing the end of the season for that, but we have advertised that the last weekend is this coming weekend for the bistro. It's open 11 to 4 Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I took a peek at the weather for next weekend, and it looks like we're going to be able to extend that another weekend because it's not going to be so cold. So
I think one of the burning questions that I think Katie had and I had was, why in the world didn't you bring wine?
That was everybody had that question in the office.
I was on my way here, and I thought, maybe I should have brought some wine, but it was too late at that
We've
point.
never had Rebel Red. We've never had your wine.
You haven't had? Well,
I've had.
No, absolutely. Yes. Yeah,
we'll have to fix that.
Yeah, my
right?
wife and I used to come up. We frequented. I mean,
that's
almost
great.
weekly. She got me started on wine in general, and then certainly Rebel Red was the first one that she recommended. She was, I believe, the Tears of Gettysburg.
Yes, Tears of Gettysburg.
Or is it Rusty's Red?
We do have Rusty. Well, you're good. Rusty's Red.
Both of those, and then the Blackberry was one that I really like. As you can tell, opposites here. I go for sweeter. Sweet. Absolutely, yeah, I love that.
I remember thinking that you really made an impact on this guy, because he wasn't a drinker, and to drink wine was just not anything. That was not his forte at all. And I moved to Virginia, and I came up to visit one time, and he said, "We have to go to Adams County Winery. That's where we have to go." And I thought, wow, they're going to blow me away.
Well, I barely got the words out, and she goes, "I'm in. Let's go." She was already in the car. Engine started. Yep.
You really twisted her arm on that.
Oh yeah,
it took a lot.
That's really hard to do, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, this might be, I don't know how to word this question exactly, but what makes the soil in Gettysburg unique or different for grape growing in that region?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of science that goes into that. Obviously, there's micronutrients in the soil. There's all these things, but if anyone's ever driven through our area, you see apple orchards and peach orchards and vineyards. So I mean, we are in the fruit belt of South Central Pennsylvania, and I think what makes our vineyards so special is that when the vines were planted in, I think it was right around 1974, 1975. The original vines, they were faced on a east-facing slope, so you get the morning sun, but it's not the real intense sun. Water can drain down the hill, so I mean it allows for good drainage. You don't get the too much moisture in the soil there. So for us specifically, that really does help.
What is your favorite? What's your personal favorite?
Oh boy, I'll give you two because it's hard to pick one.
Depends on the day.
It depends on the day.
Sure.
But like a lot of people, I started out sweet, and after a few months of being at the winery, I prefer dry. It's just funny. We see a lot of people go through that. But my favorite sweet wine we have, it's actually a semi-sweet. It's called Stray Cat Strut. It's made with the Catawba grape. It's a little tart, little sweet, very refreshing in the summertime. As we head into winter, I love our dry red. It's the red blend Harvest Blend is the name. Features Cabernet Sauvignon, Chambourcin, and Lemberger grapes.
I love Chambourcin.
Yeah, so it's great. And Our Cab Sauv vines are actually over 25 years old, so they're really producing some nice grapes.
So your varietals, you have Cab Sauv, Chambourcin. What are the other ones that you said?
The other red is Lemberger, and then in the whites we grow Vidal and Saval.
Oh, those are very good varietals.
Yeah, they grow great around here.
No Gewürztraminer?
No Gewürztraminer. No, we can't claim that one. We'll look into that.
I do love a Viognier.
Oh, yes.
I do love a really nice dry Viognier.
I love saying Gewürztraminer because it's the most fancy sounding, weird. But I learned that, I know exactly where I was when I learned that. Was we went up to Seneca Lake, my wife and I, we did the Polar Passports that was around winter time. The very first winery we stopped at the southeast end of Seneca Lake, at Watkins Glen, that area, we were the only two people in there, short of one other couple, and they were getting ready to leave. So we were talking to the person serving us, and we just got to chatting with the other couple, and they said, "Oh, where are you from?" And we said, "Waynesboro, Pennsylvania." This other couple was from Waynesboro as well.
Wow.
So the first words out of their mouth were, "Have you ever been to Adams County Winery?"
That's amazing. I love that.
Yes, of course we've been. What kind of question is that?
That's great.
Yeah, it's so Adams County is quite famous, Adams County Winery, and not to mention the rich historic, the area itself.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, it's a beautiful area. So you can really do a lot in a weekend with getting Adams County Winery and then touring the battlefields of Gettysburg.
Absolutely.
And what I think a lot of people might not know is that, and you already mentioned this, you have a store basically on the square in Gettysburg.
Yeah, a block off the square. We do a lot of great things there. We make wine sorbet, which it's getting a little colder, but it's still great year round. We have that. We're also featuring mulled wine right now, so the warmed up mulled wine. Yep, so great for this time of the year.
When you also have your seasonal is apple pie. Is that new this year?
Apple pie, and then so that is our newest seasonal. Great to warm up. You can add the little mulling spices in there. I mean, it's phenomenal. The smell is amazing too. It makes the whole house smell cozy, like great for the holidays. We also have a new seasonal that we're bringing out November 23rd. It's called Visions of Sugar Plum. So it's a sweet red blend with sugar or plum added, which is great. And then we're releasing the Gettysburg Christmas White and the Gettysburg Christmas Red, which are the official wines of the Gettysburg Christmas movie that came out last year. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so during that event on November 23rd, we'll have Bo Brinkman, the writer, producer, director of the movie there, signing bottles. I think he's going to be there from 11 until 2. We'll also have music, a string band, I think it's called Blythe Spirits. We'll be playing some string instruments, and then we'll have Vintage Crew coming on from 1 to 4 to continue the music throughout the day. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that a free event, or do you need reservations or tickets to that?
No reservations are needed. Just stop by, and it's going to be a great day. We're really looking forward to that one.
Love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Dan, thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us and talking wine, one of my favorite topics.
Yep. And we'll see you next week and every week after, and then just make sure you bring the special wines. We'd be happy to feature them right here.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that. Yeah. All right.
Really nice right here on the middle.
That's true. That would have. Yeah.
Maybe we can come, and I do mean this genuinely. Maybe we can come and do something on site at Adams County.
That'd be great. We'd love to have you.
Take a tour.
Absolutely.
It's
yeah.
been a while since I've been there. I'd love to come back up and experience the wines. We had a great time when we were there. So.
Well, yeah, love to have you, and come on out. We'll give you a tour and show you around.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.